Divine intervention. The Lord Himself will intervene in the chaos of devastation, which is becoming worse and worse due to human will, when the day has come. And this intervention will bring it about that end of the wrestling of nations, against the will of the people, to whom this end seems to be little successful. The world is caught in an error. It believes to be able to determine the earthly development itself and does not consider the will of the power, which controls everything in heaven and on earth. It does not consider that this power expresses itself in due time. That is, that it opposes people's will if it completely acts against divine will. As soon as the most powerful will is no longer recognized and heeded, he expresses himself, and in a way that is felt, which affects humans sensitively, that is their earthly life into other courses steers and any earthly plans and hopes destroys. It must be pointed out to mankind again that it is powerless towards the Creator of heaven and earth, that His will alone rules and that an unloving behavior of mankind will result in a just punishment. People are not afraid of anything, and they seek to destroy each other. This completely contradicts man's destiny to live a life of love on earth. The divine justice intervenes now in the human will, by striking mankind with the same, what their will let become an act. By letting the natural elements free run, and these accomplish a work of destruction of far greater extent, in order to show a higher will to the people. For people have lost all faith in a higher power. And because they do not fear any power over them, they unhesitatingly resort to the most unloving means in order to create their supposed right. They misuse their free will, which was given to them to work for love, to redeem themselves from the bonds of the one who is without of all love. But they serve Him, they carry out His will, they give themselves to Him, so to speak, as representatives on earth. They are in bondage to Him, and He controls them completely, and therefore He uses them to destroy what God let come into being, to destroy creations of most different kind. To everything God gave His purpose, but the opponent of God drives the people who are in bondage to Him to destroy these creations prematurely, so that they cannot carry out their destiny to the end. And men carry out willingly. They outdo themselves in unkindness and fear no power which could call them to account. Mankind is disenfranchised. It is so far from God that only a violent intervention can guide its thinking differently, and therefore it draws on this divine intervention itself. God in His goodness and gentleness does not yet let it be a punitive judgment, for He takes pity on mankind, which lies deeply in bondage. He does not want to destroy, but to His wisdom chooses the only means that is very painful but can still bring success. He shows Himself in His power and strength. He speaks with a brazen voice. He expresses Himself so powerfully that man is forced to think, but God does not force the will of man, and that is why only a small part will recognize Him in this natural event, because He wants to recognize Him. But the opponent of God takes possession of the others. They serve Him and are lost for eternal times. Amen.